You ever wish for a 25th hour in the day? That feeling that if you just had a little more time, you could finally get on top of things? Well, today we're going to tear down one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves, the idea that we don't have enough time. The problem isn't your schedule. It's something way deeper.
Ah, this old chestnut. We've all said it, right? We've all felt it. You're just drowning in to-do lists, absolutely convinced you need a 30-hour day just to tread water. It feels so real. But what if that feeling is built on a complete misunderstanding of what time even is?
So, the thing that sparked this whole change in thinking wasn't some complicated productivity hack. It was just one single, really uncomfortable question from a friend. A question that sliced right through all the excuses and forced a moment of brutal honesty.
And that was it. That was the question. A friend who was probably sick of hearing the whole "I'm so busy" song and dance just asked it point blank. And of course, the first reaction is to get defensive, right? I don't know, maybe an hour and a half? But oh boy, the phone's own screen time report was about to drop a bomb.
5 hours. Let that just land for a second. 5 hours in a single day, gone. Vanished into scrolling, watching random videos, and consuming stuff that was forgotten literally 5 minutes later. Staring at that number, it felt like you'd been caught red-handed, stealing from your own future.
And that was the light bulb moment. That feeling of being swamped? It had nothing to do with a lack of time. It was a priority problem, plain and simple. The hours were there all along. They were just getting eaten up by junk. The real enemy wasn't the clock. It was the choices being made minute by minute.
Once you see that, you're forced to completely reframe what time actually is. It's not just something that ticks by on a clock. It is the currency of your life. And when you get that, you realize there are two totally different ways to approach your day.
And this is where the power shift happens. See, most of us live in this passive mindset, where time is like the weather. It just happens to us. We're victims of our schedule. But the active mindset, it flips it on its head. It says, you don't find time, you create it. And you create it by deciding what you are not going to do.
So to really put this idea to the test, an experiment was done. Track every minute for a week. And the results were, well, they were painful. Over an hour every single morning just gone to scrolling in bed. That's 7 hours a week right there. Basically a full workday. Add in the hours watching TV shows that weren't even that good, conversations that went nowhere. The time leaks were everywhere.
Okay, so here's a powerful way to think about it. Start treating your time exactly like you treat your money, right? If someone asks you for $100, you pause. You think, wait, is this worth it? But when an app asks for an hour of our time, we just hand it over without a second thought. Why are we so protective of our wallets, but so careless with something you can never, ever earn back?
This question right here is the ultimate filter. Before you start doing something, ask yourself this, because you're not just spending an hour, you're spending a non-renewable piece of your life. Is that boring meeting worth a piece of your one and only life? Is that endless scrolling worth a slice of your existence? It's a heavy question, but man, does it make things crystal clear.
All right, so the mindset is there. We get it. But how do we actually put this into practice? Well, it starts by totally flipping how we plan our days.
You know the old way. It's basically a recipe for regret. We have these big, important things we want to do, write that book, learn that language, get in shape, and we tell ourselves we'll get to it, when we have time. The problem is, when I have time is a magical fantasy land that doesn't exist. It never just appears.
The new method is so simple, it's almost radical. First, you figure out what actually matters to you. Then, and this is the key, you put those things on your calendar first, like they're doctor's appointments you cannot miss. You schedule time to work on your project, to go to the gym, to practice that skill. Then, all the other stuff, the emails, the errands, the noise, has to find a way to fit in around your priorities, not the other way around.
So what happens when you actually live this way? You might think your life becomes this rigid, stressful spreadsheet. But the reality? It's the exact opposite.
After just 1 month of putting priorities first, the results were mind-blowing. A project that was stuck in the mud for months, done. That workout routine that never stuck, now it's consistent. A skill that was always on the someday list was actually happening. And here's the craziest part. There was somehow more free time, not less.
And that's the big secret, right there. Progress didn't come from working harder or adding more to the plate. It came from subtraction. It was about being a ruthless bouncer at the door of your day and just cutting out all the garbage activities that were eating up all the time. You get rid of the noise, and suddenly there's all this space for what matters.
Now, it's one thing to hear all this and nod along. It's another thing to actually feel it. So let's make this real for you. Here is a simple one-week challenge to see where your time is really going.
That's it. For 7 days, just track where your hours go. Use an app, use a notebook, I don't care how you do it. But the one rule is you have to be brutally honest. No fudging the numbers. If you spend 2 hours on TikTok, you write down 2 hours on TikTok. Then at the end of the week, you look at that list and you ask yourself if that's the life you want to be living.
Because at the end of the day, this is the simple, brutal truth of it all. You have enough time. We all get the same 24 hours. The real game is learning how to protect it. It's about stopping yourself from just giving away your most precious resource to things and people that just don't matter.
And I want to leave you with that thought. Every single hour is a transaction. You are trading a piece of your life that you will never get back for whatever it is you're doing. So take a hard look at the last hour and think about the next one. Are you making a good trade?